All right, folks, are we ready to get this started? All right, hold on a second. For a second, I thought this was Color Day and that this was Pottsgrove. Are we ready to get this started or what? All right. Good morning, Pottsgrove, and welcome to the 67th Annual Color Day. Color Day, as you know, is and always will be a unique Pottsgrove tradition. Talk to students in neighboring schools and you will soon discover that none of them have a day quite like this in their school year. It's a celebration of our school, our students, our traditions, our community. It's a day where we can all stand together as one united group of Pottsgrovians. And while the competition is fierce and the class pride is ferocious, at the end of the day, we are all one Pottsgrove. The theme of this year's Color Day is why the little things matter. In a few moments, you will listen to our Color Day finalists speak on this topic. Please listen to what they have to say. Listen to their experiences, and perhaps you may find that you share something in common with one of them. Another tradition of Color Day is to celebrate the success and accomplishments of one of our own. And today we will recognize Miss Bethany Lang from the class of 2011. Thank you, Miss Lang, for being here and for spending your time with us and sharing your words with us today. Now, as you know, there are a lot of people who are responsible for making Color Day the great tradition that it has become. So at this time, I would like to personally thank Mr. Meller, Mr. Ansbach, Ms. Bedard, Mr. Engstrom, Mr. Shantz, Ms. Fritz Schaefer, Ms. Wilcox, Mrs. Reinhardt, Mr. Rusevich, and Mrs. Grubbs. I'd also like to thank the custodial staff, the administrative assistants, and all the other staff members who worked so hard to make Color Day the great success that it has become. A special thanks also goes out to Mr. Vieser, Dr. Smith, Mr. Stein, and Dr. Finnerty for all their hard work and support for this day. So, without further ado, and at this time, will you all join me in putting your hands together for today's Master of Ceremonies, Miss Chelsea Wozdick.
Welcome to the 67th Annual Color Day, a tradition like no other, and one that makes Pottsgrove very special. My name is Chelsea Wozdick, and I will serve as your Master of Ceremonies this morning. On behalf of Pottsgrove High School, I would like to welcome students, parents, faculty, and administration to this year's Color Day. Our theme for this year is Why the Little Things Matter. And now, I would like to introduce our own Pottsgrove vocalist under the direction of Miss Sarah Fritz Schaefer, who will perform our alma mater, followed by the Star Spangled Banner. Would you please all rise and remain standing for the singing of our alma mater and the Star Spangled Banner. Okay. Thank you. Color Day has a rich history for our class. Going all the way back to our freshman year, we came together to represent the loss of a classmate. Sophomore year, despite COVID, we persevered and became some of the only underclassmen to achieve the achievement of beating the upperclassmen. In junior year, despite our loss to the seniors, we stuck together as a team, making it a goal to come back stronger than ever. As we approach our last Color Day, we look back on all our fondest memories created throughout the years. Regardless of differences amongst us, Color Day is an event that represents unity. People you wouldn't see yourself talking to every day, you'll notice yourself cheering them on as they compete in an event. Or you may notice yourself laughing with the person standing next to you, realizing you haven't talked to them in years. While this is only a one-day event, the effect it has on us continues throughout our entire lives. We will often see ourselves through our future years looking back on an event such as this and notice the little things that may have slipped our minds. The excitement shown in students' faces leading up to the day, the adrenaline of competing in events with your classmates, cheering for your friends from the bleachers, and most importantly, coming together. Although to many it may just seem like a day of competition against grades, it's important to look closer at the little things a big event such as this may bring. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow students, teachers, and staff, each year, part of the Color Day tradition, we bring back one of our graduates so they may share their life experiences after graduating from Pottsgrove. This morning, it is my pleasure to welcome back from the class of 2011, Ms. Bethany Lang. Bethany Lang grew up in Pottstown. After high school, she obtained her bachelor's degree from Newman University, majoring in sports and entertainment management. There, she interned for professional sports teams, including the Philadelphia Eagles, Philadelphia Soul, and the Reading Phillies. She later went on to receive a master's degree in public administration with sports and athletics from Westchester University. At Westchester University, she coached cross country while working in the Office of Disabilities as an academic coach. She did this while also interning at both Temple and Cabrini University. After graduation, she received a job offer all the way down in the warm state of Texas. In Texas, she worked both at Prairie View A&M University and Texas A&M University. She worked in both of their athletic departments as a tutor coordinator and learning specialist. From there, she moved back to Pennsylvania to work at Chestnut Hill College as an assistant athletic director of academics. A year or so into this role, COVID began, which brought her to her current role at Thomas Jefferson University. At the Jefferson community, she serves as an academic advising coordinator within Cambar College of Design, Engineering, and Commerce. She will also serve as an adjunct professor for the new sports management minor starting this spring. Would you all please put your hands together and give a warm Pottsgrove welcome from the class of 2011, Ms. Bethany Lang.
Hello. That was we. Hello. Hi. Where are my freshmen at? Yeah? Okay. Where are my sophomores at? Sophomores. Where are my juniors at? Yeah. All right. Where are my seniors at? All right, well, thank you. Now I'm excited for Color Day. As mentioned, my name is Bethany Lang, class of 2011. I'm proud to be talking in front of you all today about my journey and why the little things matter. Enjoy the little things in life because one day you look back and realize they were big things. Little things can even start today. In 2010, our class was maybe one of the first in history to beat the seniors in Color Day. Yeah, so there's a chance. Maybe not. Now, I could talk about all the embarrassing and fun memories I had here at Pottsgrove, or in college, or the significant personal accomplishments I had throughout my journey. But instead, I want to talk about failure. I want to talk about events that brought me to the place where I am. As mentioned, as an undergraduate at Newman University, I realized after interning at the Philadelphia Eagles, go Birds, Reading Phillies, the Philadelphia Soul, that I want to make more of an impact and work with students. So I pursued my dream in working in college athletics. Now you can see that I went on and I worked at a big athletic program such as Texas A&M, and I ran a department of over 150 employees. But what they don't tell you is that after graduating my master's at Westchester University, I applied to work at over 150 colleges, and I only received 10 callbacks just for interviews. That's not even guaranteeing a job. Well, I was told I was too young, not enough experience, and since I was a woman, I did not know enough about athletics. Defeated, lost, and hopeless, I knew that each and every day I had to do something for myself to keep positive. The little things like taking a walk outside, binge watching The Office, calling my parents, made an impact on how I wanted to push through in each and every day until I accomplished something. In 2019, after moving back from Texas, I moved back here to good old Pottstown, and I received a phone call that changed my life forever. My mom has called me to tell me that my house was just caught on fire. After months of collecting old photos, clothes, and childhood items, I realized that everything in that moment was just material things. That everything that was destroyed can be replaced, but my parents, our dogs, and my memories can't. After a few months, I decided to move in an apartment with my boyfriend at the time, and then COVID hit. Womp, womp, womp. As we all know, COVID's been a crazy journey, right? A few weeks into COVID, I received the news that my position in athletics has been furloughed until further notice. Now, for those in the room that do not know what furlough means, it's a very nice way of saying that you've been laid off with no pay, but you still hold a position at the work. So not only was I collecting my belongings from a storage unit, keeping them in my trunk of my car, but I also had no job, which led me no will to accomplish anything. One day I realized, who cares about this job? Who cares about the clothes I wear? And I decided to pursue my passion I've always had, and this was actually in art. The next day I went to 5 businesses. I pitched to them on hanging my artwork as an art gallery. One business said, yes, can you start next week? And the rest became history of owning my own art business. After a year, I received an opportunity to switch out of jobs in athletics to teach as a professor in our design and business courses, which provided me the opportunity to create more time for art, such as publishing my own children's book this year. Whether it's the little things such as painting a lost dog, a mural in a restaurant, or creating our class's Color Day t-shirt logo, junior year, you can forge a path that you can make yourself happy. Living in the moment like a random road trip down to the Jersey Shore, or random acts of kindness to make someone's day, such as holding the door for someone at Wawa. But for me, small actions can make habits that lead to happiness. Every morning I make my bed. I know, I do. I count 3 things I'm thankful for that I appreciate about my life, and 3 things I want to accomplish throughout my day. Today, I am thankful to be speaking in front of you all, to have a wedding this June, and reconnecting with teachers I once had in this very room. Next week, I could be thankful for hitting all green lights while driving to work, or no traffic on 422, that gas prices are finally going down. The little changes matter each and every day, but it's how you react to make life more enjoyable. Whether it's painting, listening to music, running your first 5K, going viral on TikTok, having pizza day at Pottsgrove, little things matter to those who want to make an impact in their own lives. Thank you all for listening to me today, and may the best grade win.
On behalf of Pottsgrove High School, we would like to present you with this token of our appreciation for sharing your time with us today. We hope you can stay around and help us celebrate our 67th Color Day. Thank you for your time and for coming back to see us. Again, let's give Miss Bethany Lang another round of applause. Now, I would like to welcome to the stage our principal, Dr. Smith, who will share some thoughts about Color Day.
Let's do it. All right, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Falcons. Good morning. It is an absolute honor to be standing before this group as a principal of this high school. Before I get going with my words, I'd love to thank Bethany for her words that she shared with us. And it's just an incredible story. And there's so many of these stories that exist from you and from people that sat here just like you did throughout the last 67 years, experiencing something that's pretty special. Today is going to be very exciting and unique. It's something that most likely will be a highlight of when you think about your high school experience. There's a 2011 graduate still thinking about Color Day, remembering when she was sitting just where you guys were sitting. For seniors, it's your last one. For freshmen, it's your first one. And as a student, you only get 4 chances to experience Color Day here at the Grove. So let's have some fun and cherish the memories that you're going to make today. Our theme this year is Why Little Things Matter. And I can tell you, as you move through life, you'll find that those little things become the things that matter most. Little things, not the things that cost money, not the things that are biggest and best, not the things that are material and lack true purpose. It's the little things. Little things like a smile and a wave, a handshake and a hug, a welcome or a thank you, a good morning or a goodbye. All those simple little things matter. Sometimes people just need some affirmation or some acknowledgement to put a smile on their face. These simple acts of kindness, they're an act of humility, and they give other people hope. Make sure throughout the day you tell someone they did a great job. Make sure you tell someone you're proud of their efforts. Maybe just give them a smile and a wave, because those little things can go a really long way. Good luck to everyone, make great memories, and let's have a whole lot of fun at the Grove today. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Smith. On the stage to my left are your 2023 Color Day finalists. I would like to introduce each of them and have them stand when called. Mercedes Maldonado, Cecilia Berg, Sydney Cox, David Swavely, Rachel DeWeese, Samuel Baumgardner, Lily Garrett, and Christopher Roscoes. Congratulations to all finalists and best of luck to you. And now, our first finalist is Mercedes Maldonado.
Hello. So as everyone knows, today's theme is Why Do the Little Things Matter? I don't know about you, but I never truly took the time to actually think about it. With school, work, friends, family, I've been too busy. It wasn't until I found myself sitting at my dining room table at 10:30 at night, pretty late too, with an iced coffee, typing away on my computer, that I actually began to think about today's theme. Why do the little things matter? The idea of the little things makes me think of the time when, in my freshman year, just one random day in the morning, I wasn't feeling like myself. I was feeling really low. I just wasn't happy that day. But there was this small group of upperclassmen freshman girls who came up to me and asked me if I was okay. They chose to come up to me. They didn't have to, but they chose to. They asked me if I was all right. They wanted to make sure that I was okay, that everything was all right with me. They weren't expecting to get anything out of me. They weren't expecting to get anything out of me. They were just genuinely concerned about my well-being and how I was feeling. And it was that concern that they had for me at that moment that had a major impact on my day that day. The time they took to just come over and ask me how I was and to tell me that everything's going to be okay, it made me feel happier. It made me feel better. Could the little things matter because the little things can change someone's day? Or that sometimes they can change someone's life? Does complimenting a random stranger you've never met before matter? Does making sure a stranger is okay matter? You may think it doesn't matter, but how can something so small matter to someone? Truth is, it does matter. I know the small things matter because I see it all the time at my job. Yes, I work at a fast food restaurant, but there's, as much as you may get annoyed as an employee, you get to see all the happiness from other people. I get to see the smiles people get in the drive-thru when the person in front of them paid for the person behind them. I get to see the smiles, the thank yous, and hear the God bless yous when I offer to help someone pay for their meal when they can't afford it. And it's those very small things that matter to people. The smallest and most simple actions you can do can truly make people feel happy. When you do something small for someone, like hold the door, help someone carry something, choose to make time for your family members, they matter. Your small actions are causing a greater impact on the other people's lives, whether you know it or not. You're making these people feel as though they're being recognized and are forming a bond with them. You might not know it at the time, but later in the future, you'll realize you connected with someone without even knowing it. Growing up, I was very shy. Surprising, right? As I grew up, I went back and forth between the Pottsgrove and the Pottstown school districts. I'm sure everyone can imagine the hardships I had making friends. It wasn't easy, but when I had just moved back to the Pottsgrove school district in the middle of the year, there was one person who came up to me, and she was the first person to say hi to me. It was that small hello, that moment she chose to come up to me. She could have gone and hung out with the people she was already friends with, but she chose to come up to a new shy girl. And I won't say her name, but she had an impact on me that I didn't realize till I grew up. I went from being a very shy and self-kept person in a new place that I hadn't been before to having a new best friend I knew I could have fun with all the time. It's these little things that do truly matter to people. Unfortunately, me and the girl don't talk as much anymore. We have our own lives we're living, but they still matter to me. Whether she knows it or not, it does matter to me. The reason I tell you this is to not sound cliche or to sound like another TED Talk. I say this because it matters. I say this because I believe in what you give is what you get. If you give a helping hand to a random person, you'll receive one eventually. If you give out hatred, you're going to receive hate. Karma is very much real and can very much be a pain in the ass. But it's real. Karma is kind and it's generous. Even though it can be a pain, it is kind and it's generous, but only to the people who deserve it. I think it's important for us to take a moment out of our day every once in a while and just notice something small. I'm not telling you you have to put your phone down or you have to stop what you're doing in the middle of the day. I just ask of you to try to know something small. Just every now and then. It doesn't have to be today. It doesn't have to be tomorrow. Maybe next week. But just try. Whether it's the birds that are singing or you notice which direction the clouds are moving. It's the small things that truly matter and that will change your life, whether you know it or not. Just every once in a while, just ask yourself, why have I never noticed this before? The little things do matter to people, and they will matter to you too. Thank you.
Thank you, Mercedes. Our next finalist is Cecilia Berg.
Thank you, Chelsea. Do you ever feel like you live the same day over and over again and it feels like you accomplished nothing, even though you have? Or that burning sensation to get out of high school as quickly as you can? In school, we're on a strict schedule. Be here by 7:30 and leave at 2:17, unless you have senior privilege. 7 hours of day we spend in this building, sitting in chairs. No one wants to go home and do schoolwork, because why would we? We would rather do anything else than continuing the work we've been doing for those long, dreadful 7 hours. No wonder it feels like we all live the same day every day. But once you find something small that brightens your day, it's not as boring in the moment as you think it typically is. Those moments where you're laughing with your friends, changing your class routes to walk with someone in the halls, being able to attend sporting events, or having activities you could rely on during the day, like an art class or band class, can change your day by so much. For me, I can feel the days changing, but it feels like I'm living the same life every single day. I wake up, go to school, go home, go to the gym, or go to work, then go to bed. It's just a continuous cycle that I feel trapped in. It feels like I'm learning the same things each day, even though I know it's different. Nothing big or extraordinary happens, just the little things that make up my day. That's what makes every day different. There are so many little things throughout the day that easily get overlooked. For example, some of the little things in my life are my mom braiding my hair, Carter wiping my windshield for me because I can't reach, watching the Eagles every Sunday, Riley's mom cutting the ends off my hot dogs for me because I'm a picky eater, or my dad bringing me home a Panera cookie from his work meetings knowing I love them. For me, one of the biggest little things in my life is that I've learned to cherish spending time with my brother. Carter is practically my best friend, and I'm not sure I'm going to go through college without him. In this past year, he has shown me to take a step back from wanting to jump right into college and enjoy high school. With Carter being in high school and us becoming closer, he's helped me gain new friendships that I never thought I would have. He's taught me to hang loose and just go about my day stress-free as much as I can. Senior year is supposed to be fun and memorable, so why rush to get out of it? Seniors, I know most of us, or probably most of us, have hit our senioritis point. If it hasn't yet, you will eventually hit that point soon enough. We just look forward to getting out of here, whether it's going to college, getting a job, going into trade school, or joining the military. Most of us, however, want to go to college, start over with people, and live a life outside of Pottsgrove. But isn't it funny how some of us want to go to college and are setting ourselves up for 4 years of college after all we do is complain about schoolwork? We're also focused on getting out of here that we're missing the little moments we should be cherishing. Everyone has told us our freshman year that high school would fly by, and as many times as we heard that, it really has. But we're all here in our last couple months of high school. These memories that we made in this school will stay with us for the rest of our lives. For example, all the memories we made with the teachers we have spent our last 3 years with, the ones we go to when we're having our day or we just need to talk about something good that happened. No one wants to have that feeling that their high school time wasn't what it should have been, and at some point we'll look back and miss Pottsgrove High School. So why not make the most of it now while it's still here? Thank you.
Thank you, Cecilia. Our next finalist is Sydney Cox.
For those of you who don't know me, I am Sydney Cox. Now, I was going to come up here and start off with something super philosophical and deep, something that would really start to make you think. Instead, I'm starting with this. I am little and I matter. But seriously, the small things that we encounter both day to day and throughout our lives have a much bigger impact than we may think of or even recognize. Thinking of the theme this year, why the little things matter, things like compliments come to mind. I like your outfit or cool shoes. That seems to be the extent of our little things. But what's little to me might not be little to you. Everybody thinks of our world differently, so why should the little things be any different? To someone like me, a little thing can mean everything. With the dozens of activities I'm involved in, everything from cheerleading to spring musical, I'm involved in occasionally at school for up to 14 hours a day. And even though I did this to myself, I practically live at school. With this constant running and pressure to perform, I tend to not take care of myself. I sometimes get 3 hours of sleep max, like last night, forget to eat, overwork myself to exhaustion, or simply just burn out. Regardless of how many times it occurs, it seems I can't stop myself from running thin. When I get home from school, whether it's at 2:30 or 10 o'clock, I head right to my bedroom. With the door closed and music blaring, I either sit at my desk and knock out all the homework I received, or I sit in my bed and do absolutely nothing. Sometimes I simply just pass out from exhaustion. When the work sitting at my desk doesn't get done, the dishes aren't cleaned, and my room is a mess, it's not because I don't want to do it or I don't care. I do. I want to focus, concentrate, get locked in, and complete the task, but I literally can't. When my motivation wears thin, I am stuck in this constant battle with myself over what is best for my body and what is best for my performance. One should be the clear winner, but battles of wills are never easy. When I walk into school each and every day, I may seem cheery, talkative, spirited, but in reality, it's all a mask. I am sleep deprived, running late, and would rather be anywhere else than sitting at a desk for 7 hours straight. I hope to God I'm not viewed as the type of person who is peaking in high school. I think it is possibly one of my biggest worries, and it sounds stupid. But I am trying to make the most of my time left, especially with how much has been taken over the past 4 years. I am held to this standard of perfection both from my peers and myself. Some of you might not see it, but in class, I do almost the bare minimum. I work on late assignments and answer questions just when I'm called on. I slip into this routine in which sometimes I don't even recognize myself because I know I'm not acting the way I really feel. Every so often, this mask slips. I forget the routine. A little thing, but it gets noticed. More specifically, noticed by my teachers. With constant overwhelming stress comes the need for support, and many times it has come from the educators in my life. The teachers both in this school and overall are extremely underappreciated. They have seen me struggle, seen me fail, succeed, burn out, the whole shebang. And the late work, the ever constant late work. I may seem like the type of person who gets stuff done, but like I said before, sometimes I literally can't. And my teachers understand that. To them, this little act of an extension may be a small thing, but to me, it means the world to me. It means that they can see what I'm going through, that they know I'm a good student, a good person, someone who can be trusted to do what needs to be done, even if it takes a little extra time. For Miss Hayden letting me come in during lunch every day to talk about my problems, both about school and home, to Mr. Huey starting each class with a fiery enthusiasm. From Mrs. Carroll always being there to talk about the current hardships and high points, to Mrs. Fritz being a kind hand on the shoulder. This was just to name a few, but just about every teacher I've ever had has made such an impact on me and has shaped the person I am today. From the snack handed to me without any words, to the extra few minutes spent in class talking about things not so related to school. I am the person I am today because of these little things. This week alone, I can count at least 10 things that a teacher has done that has absolutely made my day. And this doesn't mean that I depend on and lean on my teachers, expecting them to give me a pass every time. But God, I don't know where I'd be without them. You never know what a person is going through, what their perspective of life is at that current moment in time. To close this whole thing out, just remember that every little thing is a big thing to someone, and you have the power to create little things. So go do your little things. Give that compliment, help someone out, make a change. Leave that motivational quote on the board, make someone smile, go to sleep knowing you did something good. It might just be the moment that someone remembers years from now when they are asked about the little things. Thank you.
Thank you, Sydney. Our next finalist is David Swavely.
Good morning, guys. How are we doing? All right, picture this, guys. Every Sunday morning, I'd wake up at, who knows, all I know is be way too early for an off day from school. I'd feel like I just went to sleep 2 hours ago. Granted, I probably did, but that's besides the point. I'd struggle to get out of bed because it'd be brick outside and I'd want to stay under my warm blanket. I'd take a quick shower and get my bowling pants on. I go to my closet and I grab one of my expensive and custom bowling jerseys. My dad and I then head to Wawa. When walking in, you know the first thing I had to do was grab a refreshing chocolate milk and a soft pretzel. After that, my dad and I would travel up and down the east coast of Pennsylvania to some random bowling alley. Along with that, he would toss on his AC/DC and his Guns N' Roses. You know, that music the old people call the classics. Along with that, we'd have casual conversation about the Detroit Lions hopefully not lose their next game by 20+ points. As some of you may or may not know, I'm no longer able to cherish these moments as, unfortunately, my father passed away in April this past year due to his lifelong battle with cancer. Now look, I'm not looking for sympathy. I'm not here to make this a pity speech. I'm here to relay the lesson on what I've learned on why the little things matter. To my student athletes, I know sometimes your parents can be a nuisance and they can get under your skin. I mean, as Mr. Worldwide said, I've been there, done that. Nothing would be more annoying than my dad telling me, hey, switch balls or move your feet a couple right on your next shot. Maybe it's just my stubbornness, which I got from him, may I add. But every time he made one of those comments, I'd just roll my eyes and scoff at him. At that moment, I didn't realize that he was correct and he did have a clue what he was talking about. It was those little remarks that he said that stuck with me. I took for granted the importance of those small moments. In fact, I didn't think they mattered. My Sundays now have a completely different look to them. Those little comments have a meaning that I was never able to realize. I never understood the importance of the term, the little things matter. I always looked past it, probably due to my ignorance. Taking an in-depth look at this topic, I'm truly able to understand why the little things matter. Whether it's Mrs. Scott and Mrs. Hayden getting me McDonald's breakfast for Color Day last year, or Mr. Sproul's daily vocab, or even Mr. R being my school dad, which he helped me fix my tie this morning. Thank you, Mr. R. I appreciate you guys, and thank you for being some of my role models here at Pottsgrove. I know you guys in the crowd are probably deciding not to pay attention to these speeches. You're probably too amped up for the fun part of Color Day, and I'm looking at you freshmen in the back. I just have one thing I want you guys to take away from this. I want you to live in the present and take nothing for granted, especially those little things that you think are a nuisance now. I promise you those are the things that will end up sticking with you and teaching you the greatest lessons you have to learn. My story is not like your story. Everyone has their own book, and you got to be the author of it. No two people experience the same thing and perceive it the exact same way. With that, there will be some parallels. I take things for granted, and I know some of you guys out there take things for granted. It is important in the moment to understand how big these little fragments of life can be. Now, I'm looking at the clock, and I'm probably running out of time here, but I have one more thing to add. I want everyone in the crowd today to reach out to somebody that is important to you, someone that you're very close with, and I want you to give them a phone call or even shoot them a text. Just tell them that you love them and that you appreciate them, because that little thing right there is small, but it means the world to them. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, David. Our next finalist is Rachel Deweese.
Enjoy the little things. For one day you may look back and realize they were the big things. Good morning, everyone. My name is Rachel Deweese. First of all, I'd like to thank Zach for his pep talk last night. This speech is about why the little things matter. Today is an example of the little things. Color Day is one of a kind, and it's when Pottsgrove is at its best. Color Day is a concept that not many outsiders understand about our district. As Mr. Kriebel would complain, students receiving an entire day to have controlled chaos competing against each other for bragging rights for years to come. Even though Kriebel may dislike Color Day, we all love it. It's something so small right now, but in the future we will realize how big it was and had such an impact on our high school career. It makes us realize, wow, we are halfway through the year. I think Color Day is one of the little things for all of us. Color Day is the one day a year where we can let loose and have a friendly competition against each grade. Particularly, this year is extra important to me. It's one of the last times I will be fully together with my class and all of you. We will all be moving on in June, and all of us being together today is one of the little things. I feel like the saying, the little things matter, all goes back to learning more about ourselves. It can help you know your likes and dislikes, your strengths and weaknesses, and your needs and wants. It could be the way you start your day, maybe a cup of coffee or a show you watch. It's the little things that make your day yours. Every action we make has an impact on ourselves, the way our day goes, and impacts the others around us. I feel that it's also how you treat others. My parents always told me, treat others how you want to be treated. Most people take the little things for granted. You could do something so small for someone, like holding the door, complimenting them on their outfit, and this could make their day. Small gestures can make you and others feel cared for and seen. The little things we all do are memories for our friends and family. It could be the way you talk, your humor, or some silly thing you did. Memories last a lifetime. Some of the best conversations I've had were the remember when conversations. Sitting late with friends at night is one of the little things for me. It's one of the small memories I will cherish for the rest of my life. It's fairly easy to get caught up in the big picture, but none of it would matter if you didn't do the little things. You could have an amazing accomplishment, say a promotion at a job or earning honors in school. You can do something so big, but none of it would matter if you didn't do the little things to get there. The moments of victory only happen because of the little things you did. They all add up to the bigger picture. But I also wanted to talk about my personal experience on why the little things matter. In the 7th grade, I was diagnosed with anxiety. It was so bad to the point where I didn't leave my house for almost 2 weeks. The thing that got me through it the most was my family. It truly brought me and my mom closer. My family would always make sure I was comfortable. Just a simple, hey, are you all right, made everything better. My mom and dad shaped me into the person I am today, and I know they are both so proud of me for standing up here today. My brother did and still drives me absolutely crazy, but it definitely helped me through my rough time. My parents are truly the best, and my brother will forever be my best friend. My 2 cousins are here today, Madison and Matt. They both have had my back and would do the impossible for me. Maddie now lives farther because of work, but she always makes sure to call me and do little things with me whenever she can. Matt is the same way. He always drives up to my house just to see my family and I. And while all of these are small gestures to them, it makes a large impact on my day. Love you guys. My friends have made a large impact on my life as well. Some of my bestest friends are in this auditorium right now, Lexi, Ava, and Ella. No one makes me laugh and smile more than those 3. The little jokes, target runs, and them always being there for me no matter what is one of the little things. I also wanted to thank my best friend Riley. She's made a giant impact on my life, and I wouldn't trade her for anything. All the laughs, going out, and everything we've done together is one of the little things. I really want to thank some of my teachers that have done little things for me as well. Mrs. Dolga, thank you for being so great to me freshman year and for writing my recommendation letter. Mr. Meller, you never fail to make me laugh and give the best advice, and for telling me how awful I sounded when I was sick. You're a real one for that. Mr. Kriebel, the coffee runs Lexi and I would do for you, and although you made fun of me just about every single day, it would always be a laugh for us and one of the little things that made my high school experience. Mrs. Small, service learning for you this year has been fun, and she would never fail to make me laugh. She did my flowers for fall ball, and that was one of the little things she did for me. Also, I wanted to thank a teacher who is not teaching here anymore, Mrs. Miller, or as most people know her as Mrs. Stone. She was the one who had the biggest impact on my entire high school experience. She would bring me little snacks, gave me hugs every day, and the best advice. She never failed to make me laugh when times were tough. Aside from all that, there is always something big in the end. It's the little things that all these people have done that made me the person I am today. All the people I mentioned today have a very special place in my heart. My advice to you all is enjoy this while it lasts, because when people say it goes fast, they're not kidding. I swear, I was like just a freshman yesterday, and now I'm like graduating in 6 months. And remember, pay attention to the little things. It will benefit you in the future. Now let's make this a day to remember. Thank you.
Thank you, Rachel. Next, please welcome Samuel Baumgartner.
I got paper, don't worry. Hello, everybody. What's up? So one of the first things I thought of, all small things, just Blink-182, all the small things, I don't know. That's one of the first things I thought of, funny little thing. But all of these little things in life, they all really add up to one larger thing. All the people out here who do any construction or any of my stage crew people out here, you know how many screws you have to put in to hold in one massive construction set or one big set that we have here, that would be the ship. So many screws. These little things hold this whole thing together. And there's so many things that can add up to form what we need from this life. Even this microphone, little tiny thing. It's something that's big, I don't know. But if I move away from it, none of y'all can hear me unless I really speak up. Or, I don't know, it actually picks up pretty good. But if I move over, it's just me. You can't hear me unless I'm speaking up really loudly. This whole thing makes it so much easier for all of us to just be able to speak. And like Sid was talking about, she's short, she matters. I have a bunch of friends like that. You're great. One of them, tiny on me. She's a black belt. She could probably kick my butt if she really wanted to, but I don't know. She's a big part of my life and some of my other friends. Another thing, like I was saying, compliments. They matter so much to me and some people out there, I'm sure. These little compliments, some people say, they matter so much. At my work, there's the chef who used to work there. Really tough love kind of guy, but I really respected him. He's this awesome guy. One day, just like, you know what, Sam, I appreciate your work. You're doing great. Love having you here. And that, I still remember, that was probably 8, 9 months ago. I still remember this little comment this guy made that I respect, and it stuck with me. There's so many other things like that. It means the world to you, just hearing this little thing. And another one of these little things. I've recently gotten into wood burning, little ornaments, about that size. Sold them a bunch, give them out to some of my friends. Just doing that, I'm a part of all of these families' traditions. Just this little tradition of making the tree, decorating the tree for Christmas, or just decorating the house. I'm a part of their tradition, and that's so crazy to me. Just because this little tiny thing, I'm a part of this huge family thing, and that's really cool to me, just be able to do. All of this speech, it's just little points that I've made to remember all of this. These little things are adding up to my whole speech, and I don't know, it fits. It's one of the reasons I was doing it, but it also makes it easier just to be able to talk to you and not be just staring down my page this whole time. Getting more serious, COVID, of course, was terrible. I'm a fairly extroverted person, so that was a really rough time for me. But there's this group of people, this little group that our group chat is literally 3 letters, tiny little thing. They have meant the world to me. I don't think I would be who I am today. I might not be speaking up here. I'd be freaking insane after getting through COVID, just no one around me. Just being able to be with them, see them towards the end of COVID, just talking with them, it always helps me refill my social battery. I'm extroverted, and I enjoy being around some people, but like eventually I'm just so tired and drained from being out there that I get so tired and annoyed with everything. So I think my mom will know. I was so much more annoyed with everything during COVID. And then I get to see my friends and I'm back to normal, back to this happy-go-lucky guy, I like to think, and just trying to be out there and talking with people. And that group of people is what helped me to be who I am. And so I appreciate them so much. Another thing that happened rather recently about these little things is I went on this youth group trip over the weekend and met these two girls. We ended up having one of the first meals together, just chatting. It was cool. I hadn't actually met them before, just first time talking to them. The next morning we were just like, you know what, let's go out, walk around before we're doing anything. And this one of them, she opens up to me and the other girl, one of her friends, but I'd known her. And she opened up to me about all of this stuff that had happened to her, be it like at home or just with relationships, people being crap to her. But I could tell that just in the way she spoke and in her actions, that it helped so much just to get this weight off of her chest. And so that's what I strive to be for so many people around me, is just this person that people can feel that they can talk to. I've done it with all my friends. Our group, we will come together, we'll just hang out, chat, play games, but if someone needs something to talk about, something to get off their chest, we're all there for that person. And it's so useful because it's so hard to hold the things inside of us that we're going through, that you need to have these people that you can talk to and not have to worry about them talking about it behind your back, or just talking to you genuinely. And that's so important to all of us. That's what we all need, is someone to talk to. And I hope I can be that for all of my people around me, all my friends around me. And that's about what I want to talk about. But I know personally, I always forget, going to these speeches, you always forget the name of the people, of the seniors you don't know. So anyway, I'm Samuel Baumgardner, and I hope we can all have a fun, very competitive color day. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. And please welcome our next finalist, Lily Garrett.
When I sat down to write this speech, I couldn't help but think big about the little things. At this point in our lives, everything feels like it has to be big. Whether you've just made the change from middle school to high school, are struggling through sophomore and junior year, or making decisions about your future as a senior, every little thing feels so important. Every math test, every essay, every lab, every midterm has the weight of our futures resting on it. Or at least that's what it feels like going through high school. Our time here is full of so many important firsts. Our first day of class, our first time in the student section, our first time playing a high school sport, or our first color day. Going to color day as a freshman was one of the scariest experiences of my life, but also the best, and I hope the freshmen this year feel the same. Now being a senior, we also have to deal with the last. Our last first day, our last time in the student section, our last high school game with our team, and our last color day. Going into high school, these did feel like the little things in my life, but had less meaning. Now they carry a lot more significance, even though they are still so small compared to other things like college acceptance or rejection letters, my midterm grades, or hopefully winning color day as a senior. It can be so hard to take a moment to look at the little things in our fast-paced lives. Between school, homework, sports, band, orchestra, theater, color guard, clubs, whatever you do to make yourself happy, how are we supposed to appreciate every little thing? I complain about always being too busy, but all of these things I'm doing with my friends in high school really make it worth it. You don't know what you have until it's gone, and being a senior this year, I'm painfully aware of that. Obviously, high school hasn't been perfect between COVID or taking the classes I was warned not to take by the upperclassmen. They were right, by the way. But it really does help to appreciate the little things for what they are. The little things can't be appreciated without the big things, though. They go hand in hand. Junior year, my friend told me to join the environmental club, which caused me to find out I wanted to major in environmental studies. Or when my friend asked me for a pad at school, which caused me to prioritize installing feminine products into the school bathrooms my senior year. Or when I decided to try out to become a school board member, and now I feel comfortable talking in front of the whole school on the stage. If you let the little things be little things, they'll have the chance to become more without being forced to be big things. Throughout our lives, we have to maintain an equal balance of the big and the little things. They stand better on their own as equal parts of the whole of our lives. When you learn to appreciate them separately and allow them to grow and shift and change with you in life, you'll understand why the little things do matter. My word of advice to everyone is to find that balance in your life and cherish it. Because while these feel like the longest years of your life, I could never have imagined myself as a senior standing on the stage today. In the blink of an eye, we'll be in college. In another, we'll be working, maybe with families, a house, and before you know it, life ends. When I reach that point, all the small moments that make up my life will be what I treasure most. Shout out to the Cougars, and let's go seniors!
Thank you, Lily. Our last finalist is Christopher Roscoes.
Good morning, everybody. I stand before you today to explain why the little things matter. Now, I know throughout all of our lives we've heard that we should appreciate the little things and be grateful for what we have, but do we really do that often? Probably not. In today's fast-paced and hectic world, we tend to overlook the small things that are happening in our everyday lives. We are so focused on achieving these vast goals that we set for ourselves, but we forget that these small details are what make life worth living. We are too busy living in the future that we forget to live in the present. I'm not saying that we should disregard the vital parts of our lives, just still pay attention to the important things, like our goals, our relationships, and social issues. But if we take the time to appreciate these little things, our lives could be so much better. That brings me to my next point. Growing up, I never saw my mom as this woman who worked 2 jobs, putting food on the table and a roof over my head. But I saw her as this woman that was always saying no and was never home. I never saw my father as this guy who pushed me over and over to be the best athlete, gentleman, and overall human being I could be. But I saw him as this mean coach who treated me differently than all the other kids he coached. And I didn't see my big brother as this guy who always had my back and was always there for me, even if I wasn't there for him. But I saw him as this guy who was always bossing me around and beating me up. Now, if you're looking at me like, what the heck was the point of that? Then you missed the point just like I did. Looking back, I was surrounded by a great family who loved and supported me, but I only noticed the bad things in my life and not noticed the good things. And I know I don't say it enough, but I love you guys. But you can't dwell on the past and regret what happened. You can only use what you have learned for what will happen. The little things in our lives are what make life itself beautiful. I want you to imagine how boring our lives would be without those sunsets that get posted on everyone's Snapchat story, or seeing the ground covered with snow on a snow day, or those $7 caramel lattes you get from Starbucks. Life would be so dull without those little things that make our lives beautiful. The little things can also create a ripple effect of events in your life. People do not realize that something small to you could be huge for somebody else. It's all about perspective and how you see things. As my good friend Ryan told me while I was trying to think of stuff to write about, it's not about the size of the pencil, it's about how you use it. For example, a simple compliment. A simple compliment to a stranger can go a really long way. To you, it may not seem like much, but to them, it could have brightened their entire day. It's all about perspective. All right. Now, at the beginning of the school year, I said that I would play soccer my senior year as a joke. As I kept saying that little joke over and over, I started to think, maybe playing soccer would be pretty fun. Why not? So then came preseason. I did not think I would last through preseason, but I had my buddy AJ by my side pushing me through it. And even if it looked as if I was playing with my cleats on the wrong feet, I somehow made varsity. Which led me to making so many friendships with my teammates and having quite possibly the most fun in my high school career. Along with getting the best nickname, CR7 forever. I can't thank all of my teammates and coaches enough for giving me such a good experience and helping me learn. But that's besides the point. The point is that little joke I made during my junior year eventually led me to make so much close bonds, long-lasting memories, and helped me learn so much, even if the team was not very good. Now, for all of you that have been zoning out and haven't been paying attention to what I've been saying, let me just sum it all up for you. The little things in life are what make life beautiful and worth living, but unfortunately, we tend to overlook those things. If you haven't gotten anything out of this speech, I want you to take away just at least this one thing. Appreciate the little moments spent with your loved ones, because you never know if that will ever be your last moment with them. Thank you, and let's take home what we should have taken home last year, seniors.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you all of our finalists, and best of luck. Voting will be completed at the conclusion of this morning's program when you return to your Color Day homeroom. Please vote for who you believe best represents Pottsgrove High School and our theme. And remember, all of these classmates are worthy of being Color Day finalists. This year, voting will be sent out digitally. Please vote in Schoology when you return back to your Color Day homerooms. And now, on behalf of Pottsgrove High School, I would ask Dr. Smith to join me in presenting each of our finalists with a keepsake plaque from today's program. Mercedes Maldonado, Cecilia Berg, Sydney Cox, David Slavely, Rachel DeWeese, Samuel Baumgartner, Lily Gret, and Christopher Roscoe. Thank you all for your attention this morning, and once again, please welcome Dr. Smith back to the podium. He has some closing remarks, and then we'll dismiss back to the admin homeroom.
So how about a round of applause for our amazing speakers? Now, I'll tell you that I'm truly inspired by your words and your stories, and make sure that we take some time to reflect on what we've heard this morning. We're going to have an absolutely amazing day here at the Grove, and so there's no more words you need to hear. We're going to dismiss from the back. We're going to go back to homeroom. We're going to change gears, and we're going to have some fun today. Have an awesome day, everybody.